Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to tell you the truth about 4K Blu-ray collecting because there are a lot of people who are getting into physical media as of late. There's a lot of people coming back to physical media. There's a lot of people discovering physical media. And while a lot of people are aware of DVD, a lot of people are aware of Blu-ray, there's still a kind of misunderstanding about 4K Blu-ray and what you're actually getting. So today I wanted to talk about that, and I'll turn this slide around so you can actually see a bit more light on my face because there's nothing like a bit of good lighting. But nah, we'll turn it that way. Too much light, too much exposure. But I want to tell you about 4K Blu-ray and why I collect it, but also what you're actually getting. So first and foremost, 4K Blu-ray discs will not work on your Blu-ray players. So if all you've got is a PlayStation 4, if all you've got is an Xbox One that doesn't have a 4K player in it, it's not going to work. And now most things have a Blu-ray player in it or a DVD player, but they're not going to have a 4K player. That's something that you need to get either the newest Xbox, the newest PlayStation 5, or, very late generation Xbox Ones, or you can also buy a UB820, a Sony player that is dedicated for 4K. There are ways to play 4K. You can even buy ones that you put in your computer. So 4K discs will not work on any given Blu-ray player. I just wanted to say that up front because that's a common question I see about, will this work on my PlayStation 3? And can it work? It's a Blu-ray after all. No, there are different technologies. It's like if you had a DVD and you were trying to play a Blu-ray on a DVD player. Same concept. It's not going to work. Now, the second to that is that there is a common misconception that 4K Blu-ray is completely region-free. And to an extent, that is true. 4K Blu-ray, most 4K Blu-rays are region-free. So you can import them from wherever in the world. And let's just take this Friday the 13th. I think that's a US one. That will work. In theory, this should work on any player in anywhere in the world except for the Blu-ray disc in there. So no, there's no Blu-ray disc in there, but let's say I had one with a Blu-ray disc. Let's just grab one from Arrow Video. Does that have a Blu-ray? No. Let's just grab, I don't know, let's just grab Halloween. Okay, that's got a Blu-ray in there. So what will happen is you will buy your shiny 4K Blu-ray from wherever in the world. This is a Screen Factory. And what I'm talking about with this is that you got Blu-ray in there, but you got the 4K. Now, in most cases, the 4K will be unlocked. So around here, you'll see Region A. So what is it referring to Region A for? If it's region free, why are we referring to Region A? Because Blu-ray's in it. There is a Blu-ray copy in that. And that means that your Blu-ray copy in there is region locked to Region A or Region B or wherever you buy it from in the world. That's something you've got to be aware of. And there are times when you'll get a 4K disc, and I've seen this commonly in the past couple of years, where you will import it and the region locking will be on the 4K disc as well. Now, it's not always stated. In most cases, it's a mistake. But it can happen. I need you to be aware that it can happen. They can be region locked. 4K can be region locked in some circumstances. Not all circumstances. To most extent, it's region free. But there is no guarantee that everything is going to be region free in 4K. I have seen region locking on 4K discs. But if you're getting them with a special edition with a Blu-ray in there, assume always that that is region locked. Not the 4K, the Blu-ray in there is region locked. So I wanted to explain that. The other truth about 4K Blu-ray is that, it's indistinguishable from what's on streaming. It's indistinguishable. Why would you collect a 4K Blu-ray that is like $30 for a release or whatever, when you could just get Disney Plus on for the month and just watch it that way? Well, if you're a fan of something and you want to watch it in the best way possible, then it's no competition between streaming and 4K. Because I'll give you an example, because this was an infamous example. When they aired Season 8 of Game of Thrones, when they aired Season 8 of this was very crushed in the black areas of the frame, and especially with that Season 8 episode where the War for Winterfell happened, this looks like as it was broadcast, like was supposed to be broadcast. The version that was broadcast on HBO crushed the blacks, and on streaming, this is streaming, but it crushed the blacks. It looked very washed out because you're getting a much higher bitrate, and bitrate is what it's all about with 4K Blu-ray. Sometimes bit rates can get up to about 100 and something megabits per second, meaning a better image. It's giving more data at a faster rate, compared to streaming, which might be locked to 25, 30 megabits, and they will need to compress the image. So you're paying for less compression on this. If you're looking for the way the studio wanted it to be seen, it's more likely that they would have watched the copy of the 4K and said, yep, ship it. Nolan does that a lot. It's why when Nolan shipped Oppenheimer, where is Oppenheimer here? Because I'm going to show you. Where is Oppenheimer? There it is. When Nolan shipped Oppenheimer, he said, yeah, you can get it on streaming if you want, but I've actually reviewed this version. The 4K Blu-ray is the way I want it to be seen. I've made sure that every Blu-ray 4K disc is up to scratch. I've made sure that the version that's on that disc is not compressed. It's pretty much across the board good to watch. Whereas, you know, you might have variables with streaming where it might be compressed because there's too much traffic or the internet might just not be strong that day. There is a lot of reasons why 4K Blu-ray is a better option than a streaming service. That being said, because some of you are going to say, yep, that's all I need to see here, I'm going to run out and collect everything. That being said, it's a higher point of entry. So you're looking at, does the point of, okay, Game of Thrones looking way better than what it does on streaming, warrant you running out to buy the $250, $300, $400 box set, whatever it costs these days? Is it worth it to see that little bit of extra detail? Now, to enthusiasts, we're like, yes, it's worth that extra bit of money. I need to pay that extra bit of money because I want to see it as it was intended by the filmmaker. But to the average person, they don't care. They just want to say, you know what? I just want to watch Civil War, and I don't care if it's on Disney Plus. I don't care. But also that comes to another problem. So with 4K Blu-ray, especially with stuff like Endgame, you are getting a 239:1, I think, aspect ratio, which is the black bars up and at the bottom. Whereas on Disney Plus, you might get the IMAX version, which unlocks the frame and it will fill your TV. Now, some people prefer either or. I don't mind watching either, but I will admit the IMAX version looks visually more appealing because you're getting more information. And there are some people who will say, oh, well, why would I go and buy the MCU on 4K Blu-ray when I'm not getting the full aspect ratio and all that? You need to look at stuff like what happened with Titanic. There were people ripping Titanic from the 3D Blu-ray because it filled their whole screen. Now, I was one of those people, admittedly. But I watched it and I was like, yeah, okay, this works, and I do like that it fills the whole frame. That being said, it's not the way that Cameron wanted that movie to be seen. He wanted it to be seen with the black bars because it makes it feel more claustrophobic and it makes it feel like, oh, what's going to happen? It makes it feel more cinematic. So sometimes the creative decision to have those black bars does work. But then again, if you want more information, then yes, the Blu-ray, ripping the Blu-ray and watching that 3D version that contains the open map version, they call it, that may be a better option. But look, the truth with 4K Blu-ray is that it is not for everyone. You need to be very precise about what you want. And here's the other thing. A lot of people have TVs that they haven't bothered to go into the settings and fix. There is a thing called calibrating. And what calibrating is you can go into your TV settings, put on bars and tone, and then fix the settings so you have perfect black, perfect red, perfect yellow. You can play with the settings to get it to broadcast levels of how it's leaving a studio and being into your house. You can calibrate your television. Now, most TVs that ship have a filmmaker setting or a movie setting in the TV built in that you can put it to. That's better than nothing. But if you were to say, oh, I want to watch it exactly as Nolan's eyes saw Oppenheimer, I want to see it exactly as that, then you need to calibrate your TV. And a lot of people don't do that. So in saying that, with 4K Blu-ray, you're more likely to get something, if you put it all in the right settings on the TV, to get something that looks like what came out of a studio. Compared to streaming that has to compress and take colors out because there's too much information. And you also get Dolby Vision with some of this stuff where it's 12 bits compared to 10 bits. And you can look up explainers about Dolby Vision. I'm not a person to do that. But at the end of the day, Dolby Vision gives you more information to work with and it gives you more color space and stuff like that. Dolby Atmos as well. You're more likely to get a better audio experience from a Dolby Vision Blu-ray 4K than you are from a streaming service, because streaming might be needing to compress certain channels to get the stream running faster and getting the stream at a rate that doesn't have constant buffering, you know? This is some of the misconceptions. And that's another thing. You don't get buffering with 4K unless there's a scratch on the disc. So these are some of the truths about 4K. But that's not what you want to hear. That's not why you're here. You don't want to hear about, oh, what's this, what's that. What's my truth about 4K? What do I know about 4K that might not be normal or might not be standard stuff that every creator's talked about? Here's the truth. When I was putting together my 4K Blu-ray collection, and I think I talked about this at one point, how much I spent on my 4K Blu-ray collection. I think I did a video on it at some point, and I think I spent like, between Blu-ray and 4K, I spent like 50, 60,000, and that was years ago. That video is probably still up if you can go and suss it out. I don't know where it is. I might try to find it for an end screen. But this is the truth. People will look at that amount and say, oh my gosh, what are you doing? How, like, that is insanity. But then you look at the investment. People put their money into gold. People put their money into assets. People put their money into whatever. Now I get physical media is a hard sell. I get reselling some of this is hard. But when I look at something like, let's say this Dawn of the Dead box set, because I've showed it quite a few times. I know this Dawn of the Dead box set is a limited edition. And I know that if I was to resell this, there is going to be a collector out there who says, you know, I could have the standard 4K edition, I could have the standard one, but I want that collector's box set that has that book in there, has the albums in there, has every movie cut imaginable. I know that if I was to resell this, there will be a creator who wants it. And that makes it very easily resellable. Now, it's not always like that with 4K, but it's an investment. It's not something that I've just dumped my money into and then that money's never going to come back. I sold my Star Wars movies for the same amount that I put into it, or maybe a bit more. I don't know how much I've actually put into the Star Wars, but I sold my Star Wars collection. And I got a fair amount for it back. And the thing with that is that I wasn't watching Star Wars as much. So to sell it to another collector, I was okay to get my money back out of it. And that's the thing, you can sell these. When you're paying a streaming service, and this is where it gets a bit insane, when you're paying a streaming service, or for all of them, let's say you have on Amazon, Disney, Netflix, and let's say you had all the 4K options because you're trying to rival what's on 4K disc. You have Netflix, you have, what else is out there? Paramount, HBO Max. Let's say in America you have, what's the Comcast one? NBC, Universal, Peacock. Let's say you have all these on, and then you start getting your wrestling services on. You know, you get your TNA Plus, you get your AEW Plus. You get all these things on. You might be paying $500 a month at some cases if you're getting on pay-per-views as well. Like, who knows what you're getting on. But the thing I'm trying to say about this is that all these streaming services cost money, and you're never going to get that money back. Whereas this, all I got to do is say, you know what? I don't watch Halloween as much, or I don't watch Dawn of the Dead as much as I should, so maybe I should sell that. I make it very clear that I can take that off the shelf, it's an asset, and I can sell it. It's mine, I can sell it. I can resell it on eBay, I can resell it on Facebook, I can resell it. And that's the thing you're paying for as well. You have ownership of this. The disc in there, you have ownership of how you sell that exact copy. Now, it doesn't mean you can remanufacture it, it doesn't mean you can rip it and put it on the internet, but it means you can actually say, you know what, I'm done with this copy. Do you want it? Give me $20 and it's yours. It's yours then. It's not mine anymore, it's yours. People will say, you know what? I want to pay $20 for, you know, the Equalizer or something. People will say, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But this is what you're paying for. You're paying for that freedom and an asset. A lot of people dump their money into gold, silver, the commodities, the markets, whatever. I put my money into this, and I know it's an investment, and I know that if I was to resell it, I wouldn't get every dollar back out of it, but I know that there is money there, and if I was going to sell the entire collection, then I know what's there. And I know that I can probably get like 3/4 of what I put into it back. So that's the thing. I'm not looking at it as like, oh, dead money to streaming services. I'm looking at it to be like, I've got a collection here that reflects me, but also if I decide one day it doesn't reflect me anymore, I can sell them. Like I did with Star Wars. Star Wars I wasn't watching. Star Wars, I've really lost trust in how they've handled Star Wars. So I sold my Star Wars collection. I wasn't watching it, so I got my money back. That is what ownership is. But also, another thing about 4K is preservation. Now, there are some preservations that are pretty good, like I've talked about 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is probably the best restoration I've ever seen on 4K. Now, there are other ones out there that people rave about. I really like what they did with this one, 2001. But then you have very poor ones, and I'm going to keep picking on it because I want Cameron to fix it. Where is it? Right here. I'm going to keep picking on Terminator 2 until James Cameron fixes it. But you have really bad restorations as well. Good restoration, Bad restoration, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Geraldo even knows it's bad. Look, Geraldo's even out there sticking out his tongue laughing at it. But, you know, good restorations are good, and that's really good English, but good restorations are worth their money in gold. It means you're watching it as close to the negative because they've rescanned it, restored it. It's a new restoration, so you're watching it as close without digital noise reduction as much as they could on these. Some of these do it really bad. They change colors, they change certain plot points. But, you know, there are certain things where you'll look at this whole thing and you'll be like, okay, so it sounds like what you're saying is 4K's hit and miss. So why would I collect 4K then? Honestly, it's really about, like, what do you want to collect? Do you want to have ownership over something? Do you want to know, like, oh, I know in 10 years, let's say I didn't put any, let's say I was paying streaming services for 10 years and it's 500 a month. 500, 1,000, blah, 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 do the math. Times 12 times 10. 12, so what's that? 500 times 12, and then that times 10. What's that per 10 years? And then you say, oh, I just want to watch Titanic every other month. I know that I can pull Titanic off the shelf, and that's going to last probably 10 years, at least, maybe 20 years, maybe even 30 years. There's some DVDs that date back to the 90s that still don't have disc rot or anything. So, you know, they last. As long as you look after them, they will look after you. And you might say, oh, over the span of 10 years, I spent, I don't know, 25, 30 grand on streaming services because they just keep going up. Whereas my one copy of Titanic, there it is right there, I can watch it. Same with the MCU. I don't need to have Disney Plus on to watch the MCU. It's right there. And for the ones that they don't put out, like, I wouldn't even really go out of my way to watch those shows anyways. Like Miss Marvel, I do want that on disc, I will admit. Like Stranger Things, they're putting Stranger Things out on 4K Blu-ray. That's because people don't want to have Netflix on endlessly to rewatch it. They want to have a physical representation. And that's what the truth is about 4K Blu-ray. It's a physical representation of a film or TV show or something you love. You can see Superman up here, Smallville. Like, I have not watched Smallville, I'll admit, so that could maybe sold at some point. But the fact that it's there and I can watch it very accessibly, it's there. And you might say, oh, it's on HBO Max. I don't have to go finding it. I don't have to pay for an endless streaming service. What happens if I like it and I want to watch it again and again and again and again? That is what 24 is to me. 24, I can watch that show endlessly. But if I'm watching that endlessly and I'm having to get on Disney Plus each month to watch it, what's the point? I can watch it on the 4K, on the Blu-ray box set right there, and have it at the best quality as possible to me, unless they rescan it at 4K, and it's right there. I can watch it. The Looney Tunes up there, it's very hard to watch the Looney Tunes at the moment. The Looney Tunes, I think, are only available on Tubi, from what I've seen, and they might be available on HBO Max. But if I want to watch old school Roadrunner and Coyote, like, how do I watch them? I don't have to go searching. They are right there. Bugs Bunny as well. If I want to watch Bruce Lee movies, and without the terrible dubs and lip sync issues, I got it right there. I can pick the dub I want to watch in there. I can pick if I want to watch it in Cantonese if I want, because usually these will have subtitle options and have audio tracks and maybe have director commentaries and stuff like that that you do not get on streaming. So what I'm talking about is there are a lot of things that I'm probably forgetting a lot in this video, and if I forgot stuff, put it down there in the comments, because this is the truth about 4K Blu-ray and DVD and everything. Ownership is what you're collecting. You're collecting it. Now, you might say, oh, DVDs, I'll never get my money back out of DVDs. That's why I'm saying with DVDs and Blu-rays, get them as cheap as possible. But with 4Ks, it's probably the last format we're going to get. It's probably the top of the end format that you're probably going to get. I don't think it's going to go to 8K. I really don't think they're going to do an 8K disc, because there's no market for it. There's no 8K TVs haven't caught on. And even then, when the 8K TVs were out, and they have put 8K TVs out there on the market, nobody's watching those. Nobody's actually running out saying, I must have the 8K TV. Most people are like, oh yeah, 4K, 8K, I just want really good exposure. I just want really good contrast. I just want really good colors on the TV. I just want really good sound coming out of the bar, so I don't have to have a sound bar under it. I just want a good speaker system on it. I bought my C9, my LG C9, for that very reason back in the day, in 2019, 2020. Because I wanted the best, and that was the best TV in the world. And for a lot of the time, these movies look absolutely phenomenal on 4K on my 4K TV with a UB820 Panasonic player, because a lot of people wonder what player I use. But you have to look at this as I can take any movie off my shelf here and resell it. Seven Samurai, it's unopened at the moment. It's one of my favorite movies, but Seven Samurai, I can resell that. This is a collector's edition. It's unopened at the moment, so I could probably yield a higher price because it's unopened, still sealed. But even if I opened it and watched it once and said, you know what, I'm okay with my Blu-ray copy. I think I still got the Blu-ray copy up here somewhere. I think it's up here. I believe I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere up there. Oh, there it is. It's right in the middle right there. So there, I've still got the Blu-ray copy. If I said, open this and said, you know what, I think my Blu-ray copies, there's no real difference between this and the Blu-ray copy, I could still sell this for a good amount because it's 7 Samurai on 4K, and it's probably the last we're probably going to get of this in terms of a scan. And this is what I'm talking about. There are so many foreign films that you just can't get on streaming. Like, I think you can get this one on streaming, but what happens when you come to foreign films? And what happens to editions on streaming? You don't get your choice of editions. They give you what they want you to watch. Whereas if I want to watch Battle Royale, I've got a couple of editions right there that I can watch. I can watch the director's cut, or, you know, what's it called? Yeah, the original theatrical cut, or I can watch the special director's cut. Like, there are editions right there I can watch. But you don't get those options on streaming. And if you're a high collector of, if you're a collector of like Lord of the Rings and you have to have the best of the best for Lord of the Rings, there is a thing where people have been saying that these Lord of the Rings things, and I might have covered these in other videos, but these are not the best way to watch Lord of the Rings to a lot of fans of Lord of the Rings. There are people who stick by the extended editions on DVD, who stick to their DVD box sets because they say it's more accurate. I have ordered a couple of things. I don't know when they're coming in, but I've ordered a couple of things, and I'll show them at some point where I'm ordering the full frame versions that feel like they're open matte. Now, I'll be missing information at the sides, but Peter Jackson shot it in a way that for the older school TVs, you get more at the top and bottom. And you see this with Spider-Man and stuff like this. So I just want to make it final in this video. All of these points tell you that you need to make up your own mind of what you want in 4K Blu-ray. I can't tell you what to collect. I can't tell you what your collecting habits are. I can't tell you what hardware you're using. I can't tell you what TV you're using. All I can say is that if you want the best of the best, 4K is the best of the best, but it costs a premium. And if you don't care about, oh, I just want something that looks visually okay on a 4K screen, then streaming might be good for you. Streaming might be okay. It's not for everyone. And that's what I want to make clear. It's not for everyone. This is not for everyone. This is for the most hardcore enthusiasts who must have it looking the best as possible. It's for the audiophiles out there who say, I want it on Dolby Vision, the best it's ever sounded, and all this stuff. It's for those sort of people who want the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors, you know? And yes, in case you didn't know what I'm referencing, I'm referencing Men in Black, you know? That's the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors, and, you know, that's a really cool scene in that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Am I hallucinating here, or am I not? Am I just talking shit? Tell me what you think. Get down in the comments. Let me know. I'll put a couple of end screens on here. There's a couple of playlists I'll put on either side. I don't know where I'll put the playlist, but I'll put some playlists if you want to watch all my videos and certain channel videos. And yeah, let me know what you want to see. Check out my gaming channel as well, Jamie Toomey Gaming, and also Jamie Toomey Sports. And also check out my TikTok. I'm trying to get followers on TikTok. Follow him. Peace out. Catch you next one.